Your 20s are a really exciting part of your life. You might have a little bit of money in your pocket and certainly a lot more freedom than you did before. Most people in their 20s feel like they're absolutely invincible. I know I clearly do. But the truth is, in your 20s, you're more vulnerable than ever. If someone makes a financial mistake at this point in their life, it can send shockwaves through their entire future. Each of these mistakes are very different, so make sure you watch the whole video so you don't end up making one of these mistakes. But before we get into the video, if you guys could smash that like and subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Number one is not taking advantage of your free time. Now that you're in your 20s, you're incredibly rich in one way, and that's you have a huge abundance of free time. You can do so many things to turn your spare time into a little bit of extra cash. And if all you're doing is wasting your time, then all that potential extra income and cash is just slipping away from your fingers, because this is the time to invest in yourself and build your skills. That's why I'm out here making these shitty videos and trying to sell shoes on the side. And hopefully it'll scale to me owning the next Nike and being the next Graham Stephan. Number two is trying to keep up with your friends. Everyone has that one friend that seems to have the nicest car, the nicest house, the hottest girlfriend. And let me tell you a little secret, the majority of people are just faking it. As of 2023 in Australia, the average household debt is over $260,000 and the average credit card debt is around $5,700. This means that the friends that you're really trying to keep up with and you think, oh my God, my friends are so successful, I need the same car, I need the same house by now, chances are they're really just in a ton of debt. And at the end of the day, if you need to impress them, they're probably not your friends anyway. And if it's your partner that you're trying to impress, then you've got bigger problems, my guy. Number three is over drinking and partying. When you're out drinking, it's way too easy to get caught up in the moment and overspend. This is most people's financial kryptonite, and it's the number one thing keeping average people broke and unable to invest. I'm not saying going out and enjoying yourself is wrong, but it is read the Quran. But some people like to do it because, you know, it makes me happy, it makes me smile. But just know that everything is good in moderation. So maybe once a month, maybe every second month, definitely not every single weekend. You may not think that saving a few dollars here and there is that important right now, but the truth is that extra $100, $200 that you save by not going out is worth so much money if you just invest it and save it for the future. And chances are, it's really not making you that happy anyway, and you're just spending money on things you don't really need. Number four is putting off retirement investing. When you're in your 20s, retirement seems like a lifetime away, and many people put off investing into their retirement until they're 45 or 50 because of many different excuses. I've got a mortgage to pay, a college fund to pay, I've got to buy that brand new Hellcat, or I have to go on my luxury holiday to Europe. These lost years can cost you very dearly. So let me explain. If you invest $100 a month for 30 years at a 7% annual return, you would have $116,000 set aside in your retirement fund, which could continue to grow until you're ready to retire. But if you paid off saving for retirement for 10 years and you started investing the exact same amount for 20 years, you would only have around $50,000, which is less than half of what you would have if you just started investing $100 10 years earlier. And in reality, the extra $60,000 would only have actually cost you around $12,000 of your actual money. Now, we're lucky in Australia, we get super, so our employers automatically put roughly about 10% aside for us anyway. But imagine if you put an extra 10% of your money away into your retirement savings account, how filthy rich you'd be when you're ready to retire, and how much earlier you could retire, and how Gucci your retirement could be. But if you're in the US, it's even more important to knuckle down on this, because as I said, your employer isn't doing it automatically for you. You need to be responsible to do it for yourself. So most people recommend investing at least 10% of your income into your retirement fund. Mistake number five is not having an emergency fund. Over 60% of millennials wouldn't be able to cover a small $1,000 emergency. That's 60% of people wouldn't have enough money for a small, minor financial emergency. Having an emergency fund is super important. You don't want to find out the hard way when your car breaks down and you can't get to work. You don't have enough money to fix it, so you either lose your job because you can't get to work, or you have to go into $1,000 of debt which you're already struggling to pay off anyway, which would be almost impossible for you to repay because you're not able to save any money as it currently is. So you'd end up going into debt and then just trying to pay back the interest, and then going into an eternal cycle of just debt, just paying back the interest, not being able to pay back the principal, and not getting anywhere financially. Number six is moving out of home too soon. By slightly abusing your parents' generosity, this is going to be the smartest move you can make in your 20s. It's going to be the best value accommodation you're ever going to get. So don't take it for granted. The number one goal of most people in their 20s is to move out of home as soon as possible. Trust me, I moved states when I was like 18. So I haven't lived with my parents for ages. But I know people that do, and they're able to just save so much more money. And I'm kind of in a good situation where I get really cheap accommodation and stuff. But if you're staying in the same state and same location, trust me, it's way better to just sacrifice a little bit. You're not gonna be able to take home any of the hoes, but your bank account's gonna love you for it. Because when looking to move out, you're not just worried about the rent, which is the number one thing most people are just looking for. You have to think about food bills, utilities, Wi-Fi costs, transport costs. Everything adds up, and moving out of home can be incredibly expensive. Number 7 is going in debt to buy a brand new Vroom so you can impress the bitches, your friends, your family with all your success. I know everyone sees Tanner Fox with like 6 billion different cars, and even though he's like 25 now, he still looks 16. So you're like, damn, this 16-year-old's got all these cars, and I'm like out of here like 19, 20, I don't have anything. The truth is, brand new cars depreciate like rocks, and car salesmen don't care these days about what kind of car you want. They pretty much just ask what is your budget and how much debt they can sign you up for. Just do a little bit of research and see that last year's car model with 10, 20,000 Ks secondhand, and then compare it to the brand new version. You'll see the difference in value, and trust me, that'll happen to your car. So if you buy a brand new car, expect to lose 40% of that money. Compared to buying a second-hand car, you can even get like a decent second-hand car. As long as it's something reliable and it's not gonna be constantly breaking down, you have to spend a ton of money on it. Chances are you can drive that car around for a few years and pretty much sell it for what you paid for it, with your only expenses being gas, optional maintenance, and insurance. And if you're buying a car that's only like 2-3 years old, you get all the upsides of having a really nice car without having to lose a ton of money. Last but not least is expensive relationships and dating. Going on expensive dates and splashing the cash is always real tempting to show off for the bad bitch that you want. But trust me, it's not worth it. You just end up attracting Cardi B fans. And although the ass might be fat, your bank account won't be fat for long. And if you can get away with taking a chick to McDonald's, but don't go to McDonald's because it's unhealthy, but something that's cheap, or a picnic on the beach or something, then she's a winner anyway. But the main takeaway from this video is just don't be stupid with your money. Live below your means and make sure to invest in your future. Hey man, if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like, subscribe button. I really do appreciate it, and I'm out. See ya.